What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a Crusadia test hand video for the new format. So this is my second time recording. I'm so mad at myself because I guess my camera ran out of space, so then I had bomb test hands, guys. Great test hands. They were like, I was hypothetical, so hand traps hitting, it was great. So now I have to redo this again and probably bad hands and everything, but it is what it is. But remember, guys, check out the store. That's what I stuttered to say. It was check out our store. We released our new playmat, Ordained by the Flame. My recent love for Infernobles have inspired me to make this playmat. It shows Infernoble Knight Charles, which of course is me in anime form descending into the battlefield. So if you guys want to check that out, links down below. So let's just so let's jump into it. So it's the same list I showcased that I went 4-1 with at Remote Duel. It is still the Guard Dragon variant, even though I feel the going second variant can very well go, and I'm actually have a list I'm testing. I just am waiting for cards in the mail to showcase it to you, and I think it truly solves the problem that Crusadia has, like going second variant has. So instead of just ending on like Equimax and Pass, you're able to put up like Equimax and Appaloosa and Pass, which is like something better than like what the old Crusadia strategies have to do. And then as long as this card right here stays in the game, we still have Guard Dragon combos. And so something I do want to kind of discuss and talk about is people say that playing the Guard Dragon variant is just silly because, you know, Dragon Link does it better. Dragon Link does, but Dragon Link also loses to said Dark Lord Morphin Droplets. Dragon Link does not have Equimax, so that gives us one competitive edge against that deck, if you can even call it that. But another thing I'd like to talk about real fast is that, so this is something that's kind of, I've been seeing a lot on Facebook, on YouTube, is so people are saying the OTK is superior, all this type of thing, but it kind of cracks me up because I've played OTK. It's actually what made this channel very famous, was the like 11-0 OTK profile that I took and went crazy with. So I know the strength of the OTK, and I know the strength of the Guard Dragon. But so if you do not have Maximus, you cannot OTK. You can try to push for an OTK, and sometimes you can achieve it. You have to either hard open Maximus, or if they stop your Magius, you don't get access to it, you don't OTK. Whereas just as if they interrupt your LP, you don't get to Guard Dragon play. So there is no which one is better. They both have very similar choke points. They both either can play through the disruption or they cannot. And one punches second better, one puts up bigger boards. That's all there is to it. So that's just my 2 cents. There is no which one that is better because both have just acceptable choke points as the other. It is just a fatal flaw of Crusadia. Like I said, I would love for them to bless us with a special summonable, like level 5 monster that goes special summon, and then typical Crusadia effect if we get there. That would be fantastic. But we're going to shuffle up here and get into our first test hand. Enough rambling on, and go ahead and shuffle up here. Okay, guys, shuffled up. Let's get her cut. I would like to go ahead and apologize if I cough. Well, there it was. Your boy here, had COVID. I'm fine, except for I got this nasty cough, and I don't have no taste and smell. So if I have to cough, I'm sorry. I will try to cut them out as often as I can. But if I can't, then I can't. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this first test hand. So the last test hand I did not see Crawler all test hands. So let's check it out here and see what happens. Paralytic Seed. We have Arborea, Maximus, Monster Reborn, and Ranru. So this hand is bonkers. This is like the typical hand you want to see, Monster Mash with one extender. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The smart plan to play is, of course, Arborea. Arborea turns into the Magius. Paralytic Seed. I apologize if I try to go a little fast with these because I've already did them like once before, but I'll try to catch myself and slow down. XC triggers in hand summoning here. Definitely do Chain Link Chain 2 because if they have Perm, they got Perm regardless, so might as well just go ahead and protect your Magius here from Ash Blossom, Ogre, etc. Ogre wouldn't matter because we have Arborea anyway, but in case you didn't, that's the way to do it. We go here, and then we grab ourselves the Draco. And this right here's hand is really going to showcase you guys the power of Ranru in the deck, because if you are playing the Code Breaker, playing the Guard Dragon packages, especially the Code Breaker, Code Talker, did I say that? I can't remember. But if you're playing the Code Breakers, you need to hold your Draco has a little bit more utility, and you would like to hold on to it as long as you can, technically is what I'm trying to say here. You go here and make your Rafflesia to protect yourself from hand traps, or at least anything that's not in Perm. You then have multiple options you can do. You can go ahead and special summon Ranru here, and then special out the Maximus here, turn these two into Spatha. That's also one of the main reasons why I kind of don't want to move away from the Guard Dragon variants, because you do utilize every Crusadia extra deck monster. You could even utilize Avramax. If you go to like the OTK, you very seldom use Spatha, and I think Spatha's artwork is a beautiful card. It should be a super, but Konami doing us bad, you know. So we go here and we link into LP. So this will be our first hypothetical interaction here. Spatha moves the LP. You attempt to use LP's effect. LP gets, well, anything that is not imperm is getting stopped by Paralytic Seed, because arguably we need LP to resolve in order to continue our game state. But if you do fear the rock, you know they have the rock. Maybe they showed you the rock and said, I got you, you know what I'm saying? So then there's different ways you can do. If LP does get interacted and you let it go through, or imperm hits LP, you do have a follow-up here, which will grab you back your Arborea, and you have Monster Reborn, so then you can do the Codebreaker route that way, which doesn't really hinder you. Your ending board is just Echo Max with no negate, Rafflesia, and a 2-material Apollosa, which is better than what the old things used to be able to do. If you ask me personally, I feel that having 3 forms of interaction versus just having 1 form of interaction is better than nothing, because used to you would just try to scavenge out an Avermax here. So now, but if you don't get hit, which of course I'll show you, the next option or the next step that we're trying to do is if you do not get hand trapped and the LP resolves, so you're trying to get to a win condition, which while we have multiple win conditions in the deck for going first, which is YuGIOh Waterfront and or just Extender Galore, which allows us to go into the Codebreaker package to make the biggest Apollosa, which is like a watered down Gamma Seal in the extra deck for this deck, that we just try to make. And we're trying to end on Echo Max as well, because Echo Max gives us the ability, if we have a card to chain, we can actually negate powerful blowout cards like Dark Lure No More and Forbidden Droplets. So that's the game plan. As Triff would say, that is the game plan there. So then Red Eyes Darkness Metal reborns the Ranru. We'll go ahead and just cut. I don't know if I did or not. COVID got me all types of confused here. We'll go up into, sorry guys, Skull Dread. Skull Dread effect. We will draw 4. We saw Waterfront, which is the main reason we play this. Even if we did not see Waterfront, we would see Quick Launch, and let's just see what other card would be Maximus. So we're still fine. We still would be able to do the Codebreaker route and possibly end up on a negate with Echo Max. The one thing I will say about this list, or about this variant, different than the other variants, is that when you go the Codebreaker route, you lose that extra 2 cards that would choose to make Regulex to get the search for Crawler, so you do kind of lose on that follow-up, which is in fact pretty rough. If you ask me, I think it's pretty rough that you lose the follow-up. But we might be able to do something because we open a very good extender in the form of Monster Reborn. Reborn Succession, I believe, is like the superior extender that we needed to kind of like do what we can do. We'll go and activate YuGIOh Waterfront because Gamma Seal, why not? Special summon Draco. Draco grabs you back the Arborea. You special set Arborea. And just because, in case I forgot, I'm pretty sure I normal Arborea because you want to play around hand traps. But if I so chance did not special summon Arborea, you just grab the Crusadia that you normal summoned. Just because I cannot remember. So we go here and we make our first Codebreaker monster, Virus Swordsman. Swordsman then activates its effect to summon from the hand, graveyard, banished, or deck our Codebreaker 0 Day. We're not going to go too far here, so 0 Day and Virus Swordsman just become this guy, and these two get summoned back by Berserker's effect. Now, here's something that some people are not going to notice, but Berserker has a cool effect that kind of is good for going second. And just so you guys know, that in the combo of the going second build that I have, this right here, this setup, except for this is Draco Masters of the Tinyi, this is lethal. So if you do get denied access to Maximus, you're still going to be able to put on enough monsters to go lethal. And right here alone is lethal damage as well. But we'll go ahead. And then not only that, that's not even the most important effect. Virus Berserker can blow up back row. So he can remove 3 back rows, which allow you to have that clean swoop in of an OTK. You know what I'm saying? But we'll use Waterfront to grab us our turtle. Huge shout out to my Discord as well. My man Flexi hooked me up with a German turtles, which are so super nice. And also our Discord is kind of the baby of the Discord. We all kind of like, this idea was brought up to us and we just all kind of worked together on it. So here we are right here. We do have Monster Reborn, so that is actually really good. I believe that we'll do this route here just because we want to end on the best board we can. We will link 2 there into the Goddess Bow here for 2 because we want to have Echo Max Negate be live as well. We'll use Skull Dread effect to special summon here. We'll then turn these 2 here, a link 2 and a link 1. We'll turn into our Echo Max. We'll then Monster Reborn, probably Maximus actually. There you go, to get the most attack value. You don't have to Monster Reborn Maximus, and actually you I mean, like, look at your field, guys. Like, if you are not fearing those cards, you can hold on to Monster Reborn, which would allow you to reborn the Maximus and do a lot of damage next turn. Because right now you're looking at least 1 Interruption off Rafflesia, 2 Omni Negates that you're going to be able to negate, 2 Monster Effect Negates that you're going to be able to negate, and so that's a total of 5 interactions right there. Your opponent's going to have 6 cards, and depending on how you play with your opponent or how your opponent plays, you're going to get more negates off of Gamma Seal. So you honestly probably don't need to even use Monster Reborn, just because Echo Max's negate is probably not going to be used. And worst case scenario, if, like, this is the worst, you go Monster Reborn, bring back Echo Max, then they attack over this, or you negate something, you still don't have no cards to follow up, and your next card is Crawler. So that is not good. But the likelihood that is likelihood. You won't be able to go for lethal, because as Apollosa will be losing counter, so will be losing attack. The only thing you'll have that'll have substantial battle or substantial like damage is just Echo Max here. So it would almost be more efficient to hold the Monster Reborn. But yeah, so that's it for this first test hand. Excuse me. Let's just go ahead and roll into the next one. Alright guys, here we go. Next test hand. Let's cut it up here. Bam. Let's see our first 5 cards. In before Crawler graces us. So Ranru is our first card. Leonis is our second card. Monster Reborn is our 3rd card. Reclusia is our 4th card. And Terraforming is our 5th card. So this hand is actually quite nice. Crazy we saw Monster Reborn again, but I mean, it is what it is. Just as likely as we are to see Crawler, we're just as likely to see Reborn, so we'll take it. So again, we're going to do a few hypotheticals of where hand traps can hit us and what we do if they do. So we're going to go ahead and fire off this Terraforming to get us Waterfront. They droll us, we cry, we move on with our day, and we just cry. But even if they do droll us, which if you guys are members, if you guys have not become members, there is a video for members that show how we play through droll, because last format droll was rampant, and this deck really lost to droll. But we do with the code breakers, we can play through droll pretty easy because we still put up like Echo Max and Apollosa, so we still put up like 2 monster negates and a Echo Max negate, which is nice. So back then all you did was hit every Drytron name, and then if they got to Union Carrier, you just negated Union Carrier with Echo Max. But anyway, moving on, we'll just go ahead and normal summon Reclusia. Link here for a Magius, the Magister here. This will go to 1. You then can special out Leonis. Leonis effect will activate if they have, like I said, if they hit us here. This is hand trap hypothetical 1. Stop us here. To get Draco, we have Ranru for the follow-up. So, but if they don't, we happen to grab ourselves the Draco, wherever he may be. Come on, boy. There we go. And then these 2 turn into Spatha, increasing our counter count to 3. Now we're going to use Waterfront's effect to grab us Gamma Seal. Now, something very interesting, if you play at locals a lot, or your locals are familiar with you, they will actually hold their Ash for the Waterfront. And used to, that was surprising, but now, Ash the Waterfront, I don't care. I'm going to still put up enough negates to still stop you. But anyway, so here we go. We did have a mix-up already because I got distracted. When you have Magius out, make sure that Ranru is special summoned. So when you are like this, just go ahead and special summon the Ranru from your hand, then make these. That way we can hold on to the Draco, and we can turn this into our LP. Hypothetical number 2. LP gets hit. What do? Well, we have Ooga Booga extenders here that will allow us to still make a Skull Dread if we wanted to, but worst case scenario, even if we remove the Monster Reborn and say that we don't have it and it is like Crawler in our hand, Draco can still grab this and still get us back our Reclusia. These 3 become a weak Skull Dread then specials down Gamma Seal, and sometimes that is all you need to win the game. Is just the Gamma Seal. So there's hypothetical number 2. Now in the new variant that I'm playing that's going second, you just you don't go this route really. You would just, you don't do this route, but the next variant I'm playing, you link 3 is Tinny Draco Masters. 3 downward point arrows. Like, I cannot wait to get those cards to showcase you guys, like just the pure Codebreaker combo for the going second deck. But anyway, LP effect activates, and if it successfully resolves, we're in the ballpark. Maybe. There we go. Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Metal effect. To summon back the Ranru. We'll go ahead and shuffle real quick and do a quick cut. And we link for Skull Dread. This will bounce itself up to 5 counters. And hypothetical number 3 in this test hand. What if they in-perm your Skull Dread? That is fine because we just make the code breakers, make a second Skull Dread if we so want to, because I believe my list does play 2 Skull Dreads. Ooh, it does. You make a second Skull Dread, draw your card, and then you just use that Skull Dread to special summon the Gamma Seal. Simple day. That, and people say this is silly for playing this deck when it has so many ways to play around hand traps, if you know how. So anyway, with this right here, we're going to go ahead and draw our 4 cards. Totally almost spaced that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is weird. I'd almost want to keep the Crawler because we do get that negate with Equimax, and that's like a for sure negate we would get. I do kind of want to, and then Pot of Avarice. Our hand's just really kind of jacked that I'd even put back the Monster Reborn here, just to kind of flex and show, you know. So yeah, this is it. Yeah. So then we go ahead and special summon Draco. Draco grab us back the Reclusia. Reclusia summons itself. Go ahead and link these 2 off into your code breaker. Virus Swordsman. Virus Swordsman then uses its effect to summon 0 Day. You then just link these 2 here into Virus Berserker. Berserker then summons these guys out here. And this is where I would fire off Pot of Avarice, because might as well. Put back these 3 guys back to your extra deck so you can do it again. And then you can actually put back, probably, let's see here, we've already used all these. I just put back these 2 dragons, because in theory, we could use this again. We can use its effect to summon itself. And Renru, it would just have easy ability to make a live with just a live Crusadia. So we shuffle back here. And so this is why I play Pot of Avarice, because Pot of Avarice is really good to draw off of the first Skull Dread. And sometimes it's good to open just because, like, to have it as like a backup plan, because you do get those extra resources. But we're gonna go right here. I know, guys, I never thought in my day you would see me taking Crusadia Crawler off of a Skull Dread, but times have changed. Draw 2, we draw Reclusia. 2 Reclusias. Dun dun dun, it is what it is. We're not gonna, it don't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. We go ahead and use Skull Dread here to move to do this. Not Skull Dread, excuse me. We'll just Link Summon. Gosh, COVID got me tilted, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. Go here for the Goddess. Skull Dread effect. Summon there. These 2 here become our Equimax. Set the Crawler, and you have a follow-up. I mean, that's crazy. So, like, you special here. You're going to grab yourself. I always go for Guard Dragon because if they break this board, we're good. But so like right here, you have a total of 5 interactions, I believe. Actually 6, because you have 2 negates here, Equimax negate. Equimax negates fuels this into 3 negates, and then 2. So you have 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 forms of interaction. You can actually interact with almost your opponent's entire hand, which is crazy. And then the follow-up, I don't even know what we're drawing. It really doesn't matter. Red MD. Hate to see it, but you're going to probably negate, and you have the ability to Reclusia here, and I believe that we have Draco in the grave, so like our follow-up is really good, and that's why I prefer playing this deck, because the follow-up is not as strong as other decks. Like clearly, like Infinite Nobles have a crazy follow-up, and some other decks have like Virtual have a crazy follow-up, but this deck has like a medium follow-up, but like it's just the only deck currently, like unlike other Skull Dread strategies like World Chalice and stuff like that, this is the only other deck that is putting out the Turtle, and the Turtle alone is like a super blowout card. And with also, do take note, with the new side deck being implemented to beat Bird up, they can't Kaiju you because you have a Kaiju. So that is something to keep in mind, that we do have an advantage over. But we'll jump into the last and final test hand, guys, and yeah. Okay, guys, 3rd and final test hand. Let's go ahead and cut it here. All right, so now we're going to, again, we'll do every hypothetical. That's one thing like I need to talk about. So every choke point this deck has, I'm going to try and do a hypothetical hand trap on it and talk about it. If you guys feel free to comment down below if like I miss a hand trap or something like that, or like I say, like instead of Ash in here, they perm here, what's the, stuff like that. Please feel free down below. And also, guys, please think about becoming a member if you haven't already. I totally cannot remember if I said that already, because it could just be something I did the last video. I don't know. But let's go ahead and draw our first 5 cards. Paralytic Seed. There he is. The boy. Arborea. Pot of Avarice. And Quick Launch. So here is the argument that I have for every Skull Dread deck out there. This is why Skull Dread S decks they don't care about really the amount of bricks that they play. 3 or 4 bricks might be a lot. You know, you might play 5 bricks. That's because of Skull Dread existing, because you can put back these bricks back into your deck and get more cards. That is the logic behind these strategies. So by seeing these 2 cards here, even though Pot of Avarice can potentially be live and do us some good, we can still put it back and hopefully, depending on what we draw off Skull Dread, you know, it's just, that's what these decks allow us to do. They have 1 and 2 card iterations that make Skull Dread, and Skull Dread allows you to like construct your play from there, and then you just play from what you draw from there. So anyway, normal to summon the Arborea, best normal summon we have, simply because she allows protection from hand traps like Ogre, Gamma, Herald of the Orange Light. We make Magius. On that, we go ahead and fire off Paralytic Seed. Now first, hypothetical. They hit Magius, or they stop this in hand, we have the follow-up here. If they have 2 hand traps, they got us. Not much more we can do. But Exceed resolves. Chain 2, chain 1. They imperm this. We have a dragon that we can follow up with and make LP, while still being able to put up another form of interruption because of the Rafflesia we're going to put up. So even if we do eat a hand trap here, which would have to be effective Vela or imperm, and if they have an Ash for our LP, because we drew Quick Launch. Oh, wait a second. Charles can't do math. We just had the ability to keep this here. Never mind. That was going places until I realized my own mistake here. But so chain 2, chain 1. This is going to grab us Draco. So as I was saying, if they imperm this and we get right here, we still have Quick Launch. So instead, we'll just kind of go into Spatha, summon this, go that route. Again, if they have 2 hand traps, kind of rough. But for the most part, this right here is just kind of showing you guys like the theory that people say this deck loses to a single hand trap is quite false. We lose to 2, but so here we go. We'll go ahead and now see, this is where, so we do have Quick Launch to fire off. Do I make, I think you just got to remake Rafflesia just for the simple way to do it. But we could also do like the practicality of, we do have these 2 extenders. We did open kind of weak because of these 2. So I personally, that would definitely be a viable option to link these off and keep this here. But again, we'll go ahead and do this. We'll just do this. It is just the better way to do it, I believe. And we'll just recur hand advantage with Draco here because we open Quick Launch Special, add back the Arborea. These 2 will go here and make ourselves the Spatha. We'll then Quick Launch for the Rocket Tracer. And this is where Rocket Tracer is really good along with Pot of Avarice, because we will be able to put back the Tracer and hopefully draw no more Quick Launches. It means that now the other 2 Quick Launches in our deck are not going to be dead, which is really good, considering you can draw a Quick Launch off of your Skull Dread, off of your Pot of Avarice. It's really good. So then we turn this into, you guessed it, LP. So hypothetical here. LP is hit with a hand trap. If it's hit with permanents, anything like that, we just go ahead and do what we make ourselves. Triple burst, we special this, make weak Skull Dread, Pot of Avarice. We've only used 2 Crusadia names, so we have 3 Crusadias and multiple extenders we can draw into that allow us to go the Codebreaker route to set up interruptions. We hard open Crawler, we'd be able to have 3 interruptions easy if they happen to do that, and if we happen to draw. So that is dependent up to the draw, which is not too important. So that is what we can do if LP gets interacted in any form or shape. We just can climb up here and make. Technically, we don't have enough firepower to fire off Avarice yet, so otherwise that would be an option, but that's what we could do. You know what? Final test hand, let's just do it. LP, bam, Ash Blossom, turn LP and this into our triple burst. There we go. Go ahead and special summon Arborea. Arborea and triple burst become our Skull Dread. So then we fire off Pot of Avarice. I say we shuffle back these 4 cards, and we shuffle back the Tracer. Perfect. So in case we draw another Quick Launch, Tracer's back in the deck, so we can do this. So we have to, as long as we do not draw Arborea or Draco, we can still make plays. So that's it. And the likelihood of us doing that is very slim, but also like there are certain things that are against us, if that makes sense. I don't know how to put it. We do have a lot of extenders we could draw. We also have like cards like Waterfront, and we could also draw the trap card here. Worst case scenario, we could draw quite a bit, but we'll see. The statistics are, it's more so likely that we're going to draw 2 extenders, but it does happen to where we'll draw busted. There we go. So special here, Quick Launch here, we'll go ahead and bring back the tracer that we just put back, which I just loved explaining to you guys on what to do. We go here. These two right here become Codebreaker, and this is why I believe the Codebreakers are the best secondary engine that this deck can play. Virus Swordsman, summon out 0 Day, and because we hard open the Crawler, we're not going to be punished. Crazy. 0 Day. I don't need to put them anywhere because Berserker comes out, bringing them back. Now this is a very weaker Skull Dread. It does not give any boost or anything like that, so do keep that in mind when you go to make your Appaloosa. Your Appaloosa will only, in fact, be 1600, which, I mean, it is what it is. This is better than nothing. We'll go ahead and link here for a Equimax, and then we set Crawler, and there you go. With even being hand-trapped, or even the LP getting hit, which is our supposed choke point, we were able to put this out. Dependent, of course, it also depends on pot of avarice, but that's why you play some cards. You play said cards, so in case scenarios happen, you fire off Crawler. Crawler will then grab you. I always go for, where is it? World Legacy Guard Dragon, because this does not require Link Zone, and you can just fire off if you draw that way, as long as I don't throw my cards at you guys. And yeah. So, there we go, guys. Awesome test hands. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up down below. Please remember to check out the website and get your Ordained by the Flame playmat today. And please remember, guys, stay safe, stay happy, happy crusading. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.